Welcome back. We're inside Looking Glass. Again, this is our governance mesh. This is the business application resource. We have a platform called IMDb Lite and an application. From here, we've got the governance mesh. We can see that we've got some drift. We designed the architecture, if you remember. React front-end movie with the Mongo database. We did include some information around identity. We additionally agentically, through GitHub agents running on GitHub servers, we agentically developed a movie API and a React front end. But we're missing this identity service that we know the team's already developed. We discuss it in the architecture, but it's not linked to any repo in this business application repository, but we know it exists as a real code base in our organization. There's something else going on. We did learn that the team who built it made a project decision using Postgres instead of MongoDB. Now that may have been the right call, but there's definitely drift between what we documented and what's running. So let's go ahead and ask our buddy Absalon to go ahead and scan the repo. We could put in the repo URL and send the request. Watch what happens. Absalon scans the package JSON, source structure, CI workflows, compares against what was in our original column architecture and this new service. So the code did recognize we got a new database. That's good. That there's a missing service in our diagram, some relationships, and a new actor that interacts with the identity service for authentication and account management. So at this point, we could go ahead and apply it to our architecture diagram. So we'll go ahead and do that. We don't need to do anything else in addition to this. So now we've got it as part of our architecture, which is great. Patches have been applied. But now let's deal with kind of this ungoverned identity service. So instead of implementing, we're going to just go ahead and add an existing service. We have this IMDb identity service that we had discovered. We're going to go ahead and add it to our business application repository. When we try to open it, we're going to have to clone and add it. And I'm going to go ahead and add it to my home directory. Select that. We go into the security dashboard, and not much is configured. We show a good score because really we haven't really set things up. So now let's scaffold an existing project. We want to add in kind of these missing scaffolding files, right? Our agent instructions, our CI workflows, our templates, our policies, some additional setup instructions for Copilot, our prompt packs. I do believe this is a common JS, and we'll go ahead and do Mocha. We'll leave the fitness functions unchecked because that's getting to a future territory that we haven't implemented yet. So let's go ahead and scaffold it. We could go back to the security dashboard. And now we have some uncommitted changes. We want these deterministic workflows to kick in. What are those deterministic workflows? We want CodeQL to start scanning. We want to convert any security issues discovered and bundle it into requirements that we can then start going after. So I can go ahead and commit that scaffolding to our repository. And then we need to wait. So if we go here, this was the original repo. Now we can see it's got additional scaffolding that's been added. We've got some actions that should be kicking off. Yes. So we've got a CodeQL security analysis that's running. We've got the validation of our prompt hashes, which is great. Our first CI workflow is kicking off. This is going to do some lint checking, some testing that will likely have some additional issues because no testing has been set up in the project. But we'll be able to start to see some of these things in the dashboard. After that runs, what will happen is once the security issues have been discovered, we've uploaded the Serif format, then what will kick off is CodeQL, the security, will start running. And then that will convert and bundle together by module, like security issues, and then generate those security issues within our dashboard. Okay, as suspected, our CI failed, likely because we're missing test. There's no test projects. We could see that CodeQL finished. If we go over to our security tab, we can see indeed it found 11 issues. Those 11 issues, or those 11 vulnerabilities, individual vulnerabilities, you can see some of them are within the same file, got bundled into 5 issues. One issue is our CI failure. We can start working on some of those things. And then there's a number of critical and high security issues that we can deal with. So at this point, we should be able to go back to our security dashboard and see similar information. Okay, we've gone from a B down to a C because now we've got some security compliance things to address. Again, 1 critical, 9 high, 1 medium. We don't have any tests, so we can't run code coverage. Technical debt seems to be okay, so nothing to do there. If there was, we could click it and it would auto-populate whatever modules have technical debt. We do have some dependency freshness. We can do a minor upgrade, which would be non-breaking. This would be just within the package JSON, update to the next minor version, rebuild, and those types of things. For breaking changes, we would have to do improved dependencies. So what we'll do is we'll scan the packages and go ahead and implement the instructions for packages that kind of are over those 90 days. So we have a version of Node that's pretty old, version of TypeScript that's pretty old. So we could go ahead and create this as an issue and then give it off to one of the agents to work on our behalf. And we can see that fitness functions is the only pack that's brought in as it relates to that. Okay, so we could do that across all of these different actions just to kind of give a little bit of targeted knowledge to the agents so that they have the best chance of success. Again, using our RCTOR format, role, context, task, requirements, output, and all those types of things. But the biggest concern here is security. So I'm going to go into the rabbit hole. See a number of security issues. Database query strings, parameterized query, that's a super easy one. So let's go ahead and give that one to Claude. Issues. We can see this one's being worked on. Just got the RCTOR feature label. We can see, yes, it is a severity high SQL injection problem contained within app.js. 4 different places that it's occurring. Take into account prompt packs, especially AO3 injection, because that's the one that we're dealing with. And we've asked Claude to go ahead and analyze this feature. So Claude's going to gather the context, analyze those vulnerabilities, create an RCTOR prompt for us, and then we can ask Claude to finish that on our behalf. Back on our dashboard, we can see that Claude's posted a plan for us. Let's check it out. Our issue, security engineering remediating high severity SQL injection vulnerabilities. This file contains 4 locations. use parameterized queries, input validation, generic error messages, defense in depth. That's coming from our stride prompt. Issue fix. You can see that it switched to parameterized queries. Remove the select star. We don't need everything. So that's good. That's good. That's good. It identified other things, but it realizes it's out of scope because we're focusing really just on the SQL injection issue. I'm good with this plan. All right, we can see Claude is finished. Summarize the changes. Automatically set the issue to remediation complete. Let's go ahead and look at the pull request. I'm going to merge it. And then at this point, new actions will kick off. Our CI pipeline will run. Our CodeQL scan will run. And then if that issue was addressed, it will automatically close out the security issue and close out any open issues related to that. Okay, looks like it's all done. I'm going to go ahead and pull the changes. We had 9 high, yep, and we saw it drop down to 5. So those are addressed. Now, obviously we could continue, but we could see we're trending good on security compliance now. A little bit trending down on dependency. We can kind of see where we're going. Our composite score is up to 72, which is good. So at least we're heading in the right direction. Great. So made the fix, ran the test, opened the PR, the CI ran, CodeQL rescans, the vulnerability is gone, and we're still in control. So we pulled it again, and then if we went back to the looking glass, our identity service is now part of the overall governance mesh. Security framework's in place. We started remediating some of the findings. We can continue on and address some of the other vulnerabilities. And what did we do? We started with a governed bar, had some drift, had a missing repo. We used Absalon to detect and patch the drift, which was our architectural design. We brought the ungoverned identity service into the mesh. We scaffold security into it. We walked the scorecard. We created an agent-ready issue through the rabbit hole, and we let the agent fix it. So, from governance to architecture to code to security to remediation, back to governance, as secure, well-governed, maintainable code base should be.